Okay, just pruning this espalier here. As you can see, there's a huge number of fruit spurs and fruit buds and a certain amount of new growth. This tree has reached a reasonably mature sort of shape and size. Could grow a bit further that way. It hasn't quite met this one growing this way, although actually more or less it has. So I'll be bending down and tying in a few of these. I'm not going to actually do that right now, but this is a good candidate for being bent down. This one probably less so because the angle is too acute. So I think we'll be coming out. But yeah, essentially it's mainly work with the secateurs, or I may have to make a saw cut out the middle. But what we're aiming to do here is not to have much that's growing more than 6 inches from the centre. And we like to take out a few older spur systems. The spur systems do have a long life on these trees, these espaliers. There's a nice long, strong branch. Do I want to train that in as a replacement for one of these? No, don't. This variety, I can't remember. I think it might be Santa Claus. I ought to know, didn't I? Dwight Commies, Berhardy, Josephine de Malines. Now one of these is Santa Claus, and the other one, I can't remember. That's terrible, isn't it? But I won't worry about it. I'll know what it is, when it fruits. Again, a lot of this is just sort of thinning out, same sort of stuff. There's no point having too many fruits. Now, will I train this one down? No, I won't. This looks about okay. Huge number of buds here. I'm going to take out the very gnarled, the very overcrowded, the very old systems. The new ones replace them. Again, this is a very gnarled old system there. Let's take that out. In the centre of the tree, I'm probably going to need to make a big cut. I'll make it here. And a few more big cuts. I'm going to get around the other side of this tree in a little while. Espaliers are a little bit of an extravagance in some ways, but you can get, as I've shown in videos from previous years, there's the label. Oh, this is Josephine. This is Josephine de Malines. Oh yes, that's right. This is Josephine de Malines. The one at the end I thought was Josephine de Malines is Winter and Alice. So this is Josephine de Malines. Now, I would cut some wood off of here to send us Simon would have maybe, but it's too late. It's too late. Even if I wanted to, I can't now. Spend. It's growing. It's too late to graft it now. I wasn't going to send any pear wood out this year because our pears were not in great shape last year, and I wouldn't want to spread any disease. hopefully these actually look quite healthy. Alright, so how are we doing? This one I think I'll tie down. I haven't got the string ready to do it now. I'll do it later. This needs a bit of support. So having said that, it might make more sense to bring this one up. Yeah, need to sort these wires out a bit more. Yeah, bring that up. Take that out. It didn't have any pears last year. Well, it didn't have any. We had a very, very small number. The only variety that did any good for us last year was Concord. We didn't have any pears on any of the other trees because of the appalling conditions. We had a nice lot of blossom, nice sun on the blossom. It was horribly cold, and then the wind raged through. It was so cold and horrible, and we just didn't get anywhere. I'm just going round to the other side of that tree. My new Tilly hat, which I'm not wearing at the moment because I can't use the head cam with it very well. Walk very slowly, I mustn't trip and hurt myself again. Yeah, that's Santa Claus. These are just going to come out here. And I'm not pruning this one yet, but just to give you the idea. I need to saw. That's a nice, oh, that was one. It's nice too. That'll come out. And this. And this, sometimes you've got to be quite brutal. Great danger when you're growing an espalier is to try to let it become something other than an espalier. Let it grow more on top. No, don't do that. It's a restricted form. Grow it as a restricted form. Don't try to grow it as a restricted form with a bit on top. That really doesn't work. That's not what the espalier is about. It's a lot of work in an espalier, but sometimes it's the best solution in a garden that's sort of long and narrow. The first house we owned was quite a small ex-council house, and the garden was quite restricted. No, sorry, I'm thinking of the second house we owned. First house we weren't in long enough to plant any trees, and we knew we wouldn't be. Yeah, the second house we owned, 140 Spring Road in Shoaling, had a long, thin garden, and we planted a row of cordons. Cordons are very similar to espaliers. You can think of an espalier as 6 or 8 cordons. I mean, this here, this is like a cordon, and this is like a cordon. Espalier is a system of cordons, really, and if you've got a long, thin garden, it's a very useful sort of tree to have. I think I might take that one down and tie it in. I don't have any string on my person right now. That's okay, I can do that later. Okay, just about finished. I'll take a few steps back later. This is a restricted form. The French developed this particularly, and the French are the masters of growing fruit trees in restricted forms. It's not the only way to grow fruit trees. There is an element of showing off and the ornamental garden, the display garden about this. But it is a practical form, and as I've shown, if you go back a few years, I compared and contrasted a Burr Hardy pear, that one actually. I compared and contrasted a Burr Hardy pear grown on a cordon, grown on as an espalier, with a Burr Hardy pear on the same rootstock, the same age, that was grown as a freestanding pyramid. And there was a similar amount of fruit on each tree, but the fruit on the pyramid, I'm just going to walk very carefully, I'm not going to walk backwards, although that would make a better film because I don't want to fall over. I couldn't bear it if I re-ruptured my Achilles tendon. There we are, there's the completely pruned espalier. It is not a perfect espalier, but that's basically the idea. Somebody might say, what's the difference between a fan and an espalier? The answer is they're both really very similar kinds of thing. For reasons I cannot clearly explain, a fan seems to suit cherries and peaches more. Pears go well as espaliers. Okay, so you get a feeling. You see what I've done? Essentially, I've cut back most of the new growth so that the tree, it's a wasp trap the last two I haven't taken down. The tree consists of these cordon, these long lines, long branches with exceedingly large numbers of fruit spurs. And this, I dare say, is going to be a very, very pretty sight indeed when we come to blossom time, and I do earnestly hope to be able to share that with you.